get... Do you hear his pathetic little meow? Hello, good morning, buenos dias. Today we are making cafecito, Cuban coffee. But in our house we call it cafe. For real though, if you ever visit my mom, she's gonna offer you coffee at some point. And then when you say yes, because you're gonna say yes, she'll go and then she'll turn around and she'll be like, coffee or cafe? This is the cafe. The first thing you're gonna need in order to make your cafecito is going to be the right coffee maker. I'm using, we call it a cafetera. You can use whatever espresso machine you have and just follow the instructions for that machine. The next thing you're gonna need in order to make cafecito is the right coffee. My mom says that the right coffee is finer than an espresso grind, but again, I think that matters depending on your machine. But a lot of Cubans will also tell you that the brand matters. You can use Pilon, you could use the one in the green. Is it La Llave? We're using Bustelo because that, well, I want to say that's what we used in my house, but when I asked my mom what my grandparents used to buy, she said whatever was on sale at Publix. Bustelo is what I get easily in my area, so that's what I'm gonna use. Last thing you need to make Cuban coffee is sugar. What is optional is making espumita. I'm gonna show you how to make the little foam that ends up on top of the Cuban coffee. That's like extra credit. If you make somebody espumita, you're telling them that you love them. They are important, unless you're visiting my mom. She never makes me espumita. Maybe I'm not important to her. I start by setting my water to boil in a microwave because my stove takes way too long to get hot. While the water's heating up, I'll fill up the cosita that goes inside with coffee. You're not doing pretend at home barista time. You're not gonna get the thing and push it down. That's not, no, you don't see abuelitas do that at home. You're gonna fill it up every single corner with coffee. Some people round it. I like to just level it off because it helps me not make a mess. But you're not gonna push it down. You're just gonna fill it up. Once your water is boiling, you're gonna fill it up into the bottom little water reservoir until it reaches the bottom of this pressure valve. Then you carefully drop in the cosita with all the coffee and you screw on the top. Make sure you use a kitchen towel to help you screw it on and not burn your hands. Then I put my cafetera on the stove top over medium to medium low heat. And if I'm making espumita, I like to leave the lid open so that I can see the first few drops of coffee coming out of the machine. While that heats up, I prep the sugar for my espumita. I just use granulated sugar. How much sugar also depends on you. Some people say measure with your heart. I do like 4-ish spoonfuls. Have I said that espumita is foam? Once you see the first few drops of coffee coming out of your cafetera, use those to make your espumita. These drops are your espumita starter. So I close the cafetera and I pour a really, really small spoonful of the coffee into the sugar. And I just start to mix it in. First, I'm just making sure that all of the sugar is wet. The more you mix, the more the sugar will start to get soaked into the coffee. Yeah? Do you want to come here? Good job. Once you've mixed the sugar enough so that there's no dry spots, you can start to whip it. This doesn't have to be like a crazy arm motion. I used to think it was like upper body day. What you're gonna do is hold the espumita cup loosely but firmly in your non-dominant hand. I'm right-handed, so that's my lefty. With your dominant hand, you're gonna whip the spoon around, mainly the edges of the cup, and you're kind of just using your wrist for the motion. Your sugar will eventually whip into this really light texture. It's gonna be lighter in color than what you first started with. You can do as much or as little espumita as you want. If I do too much, it doesn't fit in my cup, so just warning. You're gonna keep listening to your cafetera because it's gonna start to sputter. Once it sputters, I turn off the heat because I know that there's not that much water left to percolate. Then I'll start to slowly pour the coffee that's already been brewed into my sugar. I'll mix a little bit so that I can break up any clumps that the sugar might have. And you can really see the sugar that we whipped turning into this beautiful foam on top. Once you feel that there's no more lumps or clumps, you can add the rest of the coffee and you'll have a bunch of espumita, the little foam floating right on top. It's gonna be so impressive. You're gonna have to send a photo to your mom and your abuelita in the family chat and she's gonna be like, oh my God, ya se puede casar. That's a very antiquated way of being like, oh, I'm super proud of you. Now my cafetera makes between 5 and 6 cups. If you're trying to order this at a ventanita like in Miami, you can ask for a colada. That's enough to share. They'll also likely give you a stack of little cups so that you can share with your new friends. If you're ordering un café just for yourself, or if you're making some at home for some guests, you'll bring it out with the little saucer. That's how my tia Cusa would do it. And I actually still have the tray that she would use to like pass them out when she would make it on Sundays. Last, if you prefer your cafecito with some milk, you can do half cafe and half milk. That's what we call un cortadito. Bonus points if you make your cortadito with evaporated milk. I like to have my cafecito in the morning as café con leche, the Cuban version of a latte. And I don't care if you say la café con leche is for children. And that's how you make Cuban coffee. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos like this. Let me know what you think I should make next down in the comments. The cat is awake.